Hey party people, what's up? My name's Gabe Kersey and I would like to welcome all of you officially to the first episode of The Gift of Gabe show. Now I know what you're thinking. Why is it called The Gift of Gabe? Well, if you're watching this and continue to watch, you're gonna understand that when it comes to the gift of gab, talking about wrestling, there's nobody better than your boy Gabe Kersey. Now, before we really get started, just want to give you guys a little info about myself. Wrestling has been a very important part of my life for the past 7 years. I have been watching WWE for all 7 of those years and been watching AEW for about 3, all the way up to its inception. And I gotta be honest, guys, I'm not really one of those people who constantly hates on the stupidest things. I really try to find the big things that you can enjoy in any kind of storyline. Unless it's beyond stupid, then I'm just like, okay, it's pretty stupid. But honestly, this channel is just about having fun, a place to just to hear someone talk about wrestling, and hopefully just hear from you guys too. Once I get better acquainted, because again, as you can see, if you haven't noticed yet, this is my very first episode. So let's just jump right into it. Just cut right to the chase. So SmackDown last night, honestly, not a bad show. Got things started off with Sami Zayn and Solo Sikoa teaming up to face Ricochet and Madcap Moss. Honestly, love the story of Sami Zayn and the Bloodline, just like the rest of you do. I know you do. Yeah, see, you're like, yeah, I bet you are too. Wasn't expecting Jay to be there because, Michael Cole's like, hey, guess what, guys? The Usos are not here today because of their victory last week. So I'm like, oh, okay. But hey, at this point, we gotta just see Jay and Sammy every week. Comedy gold, literal gold. But I love how it's funny to me because it seems like Jay was seeming like he was being like, "Hey man, you're the ones that are gonna turn on us." But honestly, I really think it's gonna be the other way around. It's gonna be heartbreaking, but it's gonna lead to good things. Let's just be honest. But anyway, love the storyline every single week, just like the rest of you do. It's one of my favorite things, and I just love seeing Sami Zayn being put up and finally having the spotlight on him that he should have had for years. But it's been worth the wait. Can't wait to see more. Obviously, the show was impacted by Hurricane Ian. You can tell, 2 members of the Brawling Brutes were in here, and I'm assuming that's why you saw Drew McIntyre and Johnny Gargano team up with Kevin Owens and all that, because it seemed like they had to adjust really ahead of schedule. But hey, I ain't gonna complain. McIntyre, Johnny Gargano, Kevin Owens, 6-man tag. Just seeing them together is a cool moment, even if the match it wasn't the best main event I've seen, but it was pretty cool again just to see those guys all together like that. And then other things we got. Ronda Rousey versus Natalya. Not really the big thing. The story comes after the match with her and Liv Morgan just beating the crap out of each other. And honestly, I don't know about the rest of you guys. I'm not buying the whole Ronda Rousey thing anymore. Maybe when she first came in, I was like, yeah, cool, Ronda Rousey. But since then, I've kind of just been like, meh. I think Liv Morgan should honestly keep the championship on her than just give it right back to Ronda Rousey, because I'm just like, okay, she comes in the ring, beats the crap out of you, and that's it. I'm just over the appeal of Ronda Rousey. And honestly, I could say the same thing about Bianca Belair. Don't get me wrong, I love Bianca Belair. When she first came in, won the Royal Rumble during the pandemic, I was like, hey, good for her. She's insanely talented. Her and her match against Sasha Banks at WrestleMania last year was amazing, especially that hair whip. Oof, just brutal. But I don't know, lately it just seems like maybe she's just being overbooked. Maybe that's not even the correct term. But I kind of just want to see Bayley win the championship, because honestly, looking back, she was really one of the best parts of COVID, when wrestling was the only solace in the world that we had to kind of hide from all the crap that was going on. So and plus, if she doesn't have the belt, then I see a few how everyone's like, maybe Damage Control is not really that credible because, Dakota and EO just keep losing matches. And I'm like, yeah, but, it's not really that bad until Bayley, doesn't have any sort of belt. And if she doesn't have one of the women's titles, that's pretty much it. You don't really have much else. Other things we had Hit Row taking on Los Lotharios. I like the group, don't get me wrong. One of my favorite things about the later days of the Black and Gold NXT. But, I don't know, maybe just without Swerve, it feels a little bit weird still to me. I think they're still insanely talented, and once the Usos drop the belts, I think it'll honestly be really cool for them to end up becoming champions someday. Because they are entertaining, they are a good group. It just feels weird without Swerve there. It's almost like if you took away one of the Backstreet Boys from the group, and then you just say, "Oh, hey, still the Backstreet Boys." So honestly, I still like them, but we'll see where they go, and I think they're going to be just fine. But I want to go back to the Sami Zayn thing for a minute because it's just one of the best. You can't talk about SmackDown without Sami Zayn anymore. I really just, and I love the interaction with him and Kevin Owens. Just like, it's just the tiniest things. Sometimes it doesn't even have to be like a huge thing. It's just like, hey man, nice shirt. Gotta get a new one though. I just love it because when that moment happens, when Zayn finally gets turned on, when he becomes a face for the first time in forever, him and Owens, it's gonna melt your hearts. But again, I love the Zayn with the Bloodline story, and that can keep going on for as long as possible. I will not complain here, not for 1 second. So yeah, overall, SmackDown was a pretty solid show. I do like how Michael Cole just has like more freedom when it comes to like commentary too. Like he even gets to like tease more, like even tease the match like for Theory versus John Cena, was saying how he needed an attitude adjustment. And I love how he even gets like Triple H like lets them acknowledge like where these guys have been, like how McIntyre and Gargano, hey, they've been in Ring of Honor, they were like tag team champions, because like these guys have bigger accomplishments outside of the company. Don't not to dissuade any of the huge accomplishments that they've had in the company so far. You gotta acknowledge that stuff. At the end of the day, it's just what you gotta do. But yeah, guys, honestly, really solid show. For this platform, I'm gonna like try to like use for like after Raws, AEWs, and SmackDown. I'm not really gonna cover Rampage this week, only because I was there at the last live show, so I already like know what happened. You guys saw it. I'll do that next week. But yeah, guys, this for me is just trying to get myself out there, because someday I would love to like be one of those commentators, like trying to like actually commentate a match, because that's honestly like my dream. In this YouTube channel, like you gotta start, you gotta get yourself out there. So, and honestly, like I said, I'm one of those people, like the people who are like, hey, just enjoy wrestling. I'm one of those people. And if you agree with what I say here, then please like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And if you don't, well, we can have a conversation about that down the line. So do the exact same thing, and I'll hear your point of view, and we can actually have a conversation about that like somewhere down the line. But honestly, guys, I thank you for taking the time out of your day to actually listen to me. Trust me, I'm gonna try to make this an enjoyable journey for me and anybody who watches this show now in the future. So that's gonna probably be the end of this episode. First episode officially in. I will see you guys next week. But hey, before I go, remember, when it comes to talking wrestling, who better to Gab than Gabe? Alright, guys. I will see you next week.